Alrighty, let's have a look. Good evening, good evening. It is me, the Network Berg, live again on a Thursday evening at 8:30. So, I'm going to get started really soon. I'm going to open up VMware just now, just get my VM up and running. I just want to have a look at some of the stream statistics before I start anything, because I've tweaked a few things in the stream, and I just want to make sure it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing and that it's not complaining about anything. Oh, and I made some weird thumbnail with the AI bots as well, which is quite funny. I want to see what that actually, if it picks it up or not. I'd have to maybe go onto my own channel to see if it is. So let me just quickly see. Let me just make sure I'm muting YouTube as well. I don't want to freak you guys out with all kinds of echo, because that's always fun. What's my name? The Network Berg. That's it. Let's see. That thumbnail is vicious. I just put in a photo of myself, like from one of my YouTube videos, and it just made me like a crazy scientist, and it did not disappoint. That looks vicious. Really silly. Alright, cool. So I'm happy with that. Let me just quickly get back into the actual stream. Settings look okay. Everything looks fine. It's not actually showing me anything that any viewers have joined. Is the stream actually live? I mean, it should be, since I just saw it on my own channel, so let me just make sure it's not listed privately or something, because that would be awkward as well. It looks like it's fine. Alright, now I can see a few people watching as well. Good evening. Yeah, the thumbnail really caught me off. It was amazing, actually. I just, because usually I make my thumbnails in Canva, and it takes me like a good 30 minutes, maybe a few hours if I really am getting into like the thumbnail stuff. And now I just popped it into the AI with the picture, say, hey, you just spew me out, make me a crazy doctor, and there it did. I mean, I guess it's kind of similar to what those people did with those little action figurines that they like make themselves into action figurines. I never jumped on that hype, but I think it's quite similar to that. Alright, let's power up this VM and let's get going. I actually built a fun little Juniper slash MikroTik hybrid lab, although the Juniper is mostly the core network, so... Oh, where am I? There we go. I'm back. So the Junipers are acting more like the ISP network, although they don't really have much config on them. It's literally just... I think I did some basic OSPF, but I found another weird thing with Containerlab and saving config, but it could be with the new version of the VMXs that I'm using, because I'm using quite a new build, newer than the build that VRNetLab uses. So it could potentially be something with that, why it doesn't save the config for my VMXs properly. But I'll just fix that with startup configs. So let's build that lab, actually, because that is quite a fun lab. And I mentioned it on my YouTube community thing. Containerlab's done some updates as well, where you can now also change things in the live topology, which is really neat. I'm actually going to show you guys just now. It's so cool. If we look at the topologies, and we can just drag and drop things into it and change things, and it's really neat. But you still need to just unlock the lab, and then we can do all kinds of cool stuff. But this is kind of like the little topology I've been building on the side. Just some Junipers in the middle and MikroTiks on the edges, and that MikroTik ISP, I'm just going to use that to create like fantasy routes and inject that into the ISP network, because that will be a good way to emulate a lot of you know, real world scenarios or situations where a transit provider might send you routes and then you can potentially just manipulate some stuff. I might need to add a second transit to this topology, just to showcase, you know, a few more things, like how you can play around with certain things if you want to maybe prefer other ISP, like prepending your AS and stuff like that. But that's not really on the agenda right now. Right now I just want to mess around in this lab, set things up, configure them, and see if I can get things working, because it looks pretty, but none of this is really configured. I mean, I just spun the lab up. Let me see if it's actually saved any of the Juniper config now. So let's just jump onto one of the Junipers. Let me just zoom into the terminal as well. And CLab inspect. That might be a little bit too big. There we go. And I know my VMXs wasn't saving properly, and I did configure PE 1 and 2, so let's just jump onto them. Sage admin at U. I don't think I copied that. I'm gonna paste it in. Could be that the VMXs are also still starting. Yeah, you see, they're still unhealthy. Takes them a couple of minutes. Let's see what happens. I'm just gonna have to wait for them to become healthy. And another weird thing I find time to time with this PTX that I have in the lab as well is sometimes when I want to connect to one of these PE nodes, it just jumps me onto the PTX for some reason. It's really weird. Well, I guess we could do the logs and see what it's doing. Ah, it's still busy booting. Still busy booting up. I like that you can do that. Just like right click, check the logs and see what the node is actually outputting and doing. It's kind of like being serialed into it. I find these output messages interesting. At least I'm not getting the stream or YouTube Studio telling me the stream's unhealthy. I think I found what it was doing. There's like some stream latency you can set, and I had it set for ultra low latency. And YouTube also just says there they don't accept that for this resolution that I'm using on my screen. I think it might be up now. Looks like it's finished. Let's try and connect again. There we go. Admin at 123. Alright, cool. Just want to see. No, it's lost all of it. No, yeah, it's lost all of its config. Wonder why it does that. At least I do have the config just like here. It's really basic config, and I can easily set that as a startup configuration. So in this core network, it's going to be easier for me. It's kind of going to be a bit of a mix and match. So I'm going to be really lazy and use OSPF in the core network, but then I'm going to use RSVP to create label switched paths and kind of to be able to do traffic engineering as well, but we'll see how much of that we actually use. I might also just swap the lab out for ISIS as well, but I'm pretty comfortable using OSPF in this. So we'll use that as the IGP, and then on the edges we'll just use BGP and set up a few interesting bits and bobs. So let's just get the basics up and running, which would be our IP addressing. I mean, there it's kind of like showing exactly what we're doing. We're just adding loopback IPs to the interfaces. LDP gets added to the local or the loopback interface to create stuff called layer 2 circuits with Juniper. It's basically like a point-to-point layer 2. Similar to MikroTik's EOIP, although with EOIP you can also do some fancy stuff with bridging, but I'd say it's kind of similar. And then we've got our MPLS label switch paths, OSPF, RSVP. Really feels basic, but when you just connect everything up and it works, that's when it feels kind of nice. So let's just quickly figure that. I just want to see if I run into some similar small bug issues that I've had in a few previous labs that I was doing last night inside the same lab, ironically, where the PTX would also just not work and I had to redeploy the lab as well. It's so weird. Admin at 123, configure. Did I, yeah, copy the correct config, commit, compare, show compare. Although I know it's going to be the only config on it. Commit and quit. But here's the funny bit. The PTX is saving its config. And I'm going to see if it's saved it again now. Probably has. Oh, it's doing that weird thing where it doesn't let me connect to the PTX after it's added the config. It's so weird. It's so weird. So the way that I get around that right now is I just literally use the... where is it? The shell connection. So I can just shell it from here, and that gets me into the shell from the container, from Docker. So I'll just copy that, pop it in my command line. Wow, I'm in sh-5.1, but if I just hit CLI, that should prompt me into the Juniper. So there we go, we're in the Juniper. Show configuration, display set. Alright, so it does have its config, which is good. So this all looks fine. So technically, if I go to my topology, these PE1, PE2 and the provider device should have full connectivity. Then I just need to set up some config to PE3 and a little bit of config to the route reflector as well. I might even swap the route reflector out for a MikroTik because it feels a bit easier to me to do the route reflection on MikroTik, but it's fine. I mean, it's not really difficult on Juniper. It's just a few extra bits we're adding as well. Let's just see if stuff is actually working. Show route. Am I learning some stuff? I'm learning stuff, but am I learning the right stuff is the question. Let's just do show OSPF neighbor. I don't have any neighbors, so I think I'm having the same issue with the node where I might have to redeploy it. So let's quickly do that. I'm just going to redeploy this guy. I think I can do it from this window. It shouldn't be that I stop the node, and I don't want to redeploy the whole thing. I wonder why it does that. Hi there, just came around to thank you for all the great videos you have made. Learned a lot from you, thank you. I don't even know why I said thank you. I think I just read it twice. Cheers, I appreciate that, OPS. I mean, a lot of the times I also make the videos for myself, to be honest, because it's so easy to forget things. But I'm glad it has helped you. And it has helped a lot of other people as well. Cheers. So, am I just going to restart that? I don't think just restarting that's going to be the fix that I want it to be. How about I do the weird thing like in EVNG where I delete the link. I'll be really interested if this works. It's going to restart those nodes anyways. I forget that it does that. But here's what I wanted to show some of you guys is we're in a live lab. I'm able to now just create links. How cool is that? It's just like a certain network emulator. We can just connect them up and then we can set exactly which ports the links are connected on. So on my Juniper PE01, that's on GE000. And on my Juniper P01, that is ET001. Let me apply that. And then I'm going to do the same, just create a link. Oh wait, before I create the link, it's so cool because if we look at the CLab file, you'll see it's in real time adding and removing the links. Oh, cheers, the bearded IT dad. Cheers, mate. I appreciate that. You really don't need to tip me, but thank you so much. I do appreciate the super. I mean, I've watched a lot of your stuff as well, so I appreciated it. All right, let's jump back into it. Create this link, pop it into the provider node, and then I'll push that onto Hey Vettel. So GE. Yeah, long time. I've actually been streaming for the last month, I'd say, every Thursday. But I still need to upload some new videos because I've been really lazy with uploading YouTube videos. And there's so much. I've got a whole backlog to make. I really have a whole backlog to make. And I just seem to, I don't want to say run out of time, but I don't know, creating videos these days feels really strange almost because of how the whole content landscape has just evolved since AI and short form content and all that stuff has came into the mix. It feels really difficult, and I like doing this more like as a hobby, whereas a lot of people, they just keep pumping out this content farm almost. So it feels like it burns me out watching them create content. All right, let's see if this is now working. So let's check P01. Can I jump back on there? It might still be booting. Let me just have a quick look. Let's just look at the logs. That looks like really weird what it's showing me there. Still busy booting. I think this might be like really small in the chat. Can I zoom that in at all? No. But I could probably copy this log. I wonder if I copy that into my normal terminal, will that look okay? Ah, nice. Okay. So yeah, I can do a bit of an overview, but the microtics aren't doing anything right now. The main point that I want to do here is just a basic, it's like your normal layer 3 VPN setup where you might have a customer, and I know I call this HQ, but many times people will just be like in a data center or an internet exchange or something, and they might have a firewall there, and that comes into the global routing table with their public IPs. But then also you'll have like sub interfaces or VLANs that just jump into their corporate VRF, and how these branch offices would get to the HQ and then break out to the internet. I kind of want to emulate that and just see if that works properly. And I'm pretty sure it will, but it'd be fun to do it in this lab and save that config and then just... Really? Did it send you 3 ads? Hang on a second. That's BS. Hang on a second. Where is the ad control? Apologies for that. I really wouldn't want people getting like a ton of ads watching the stream, because I feel like it's obnoxious almost, like getting bombarded with ads. You know how it frustrates me if I watch some of my favorite streamers on Twitch and I get like 6 ads in a row, and then you watch 5 minutes and you get another 6, and it's just like you stop watching at that point. You stop watching. Where is it? Can I edit it here? Monetization. Frequency low. Alright. That should work a bit better. Oh, that's cool. So you're using Vivaldi out of box with their built-in ad blocker and ads. So don't tell YouTube that. They'll come and find my channel if I'm talking about stuff like that. I've been running CHR. Oh, sorry, I just want to catch up on some of the chat messages. Quick question to you. I've started dabbling with Ubuntu server and Podman containers. So I'm now trying to figure out a good way of testing NetW settings based on latency. Any quick tips? I have no tips. I'm completely oblivious when it comes to Docker, to be honest, and Podman and everything. I feel like I'm a Neanderthal when when I'm building these things. But sorry, I really don't have any tips. I'd have to Google it and figure it out as well. The ad things we've already done. Are MikroTik VRFs easy to learn? Yes, MikroTik VRFs is super easy to learn. It's super, like, it's really not frustrating. It's quick to set up. It's literally just like creating a routing instance name almost, and putting interfaces in that name, and that's the basic of it, of doing like VRF Lite, where it's got separate routing tables on a single node or device. But then you can do the fancier stuff with BGP, where you can start using stuff like route targets and imports and route distinguishers and whatnot to actually propagate the routes across the whole network so that all of these sites can get to each other. And you can do that as well. I think I've made a few videos on MikroTik, how to set up that type of VRF setup, but I do want to, I know I'm saying that I want to create more videos, but that's definitely another video that I'd like to make again, is just retouching how to set those things up on MikroTik. Let's just see what else there was. Yeah, VRFs is easy to learn. Firewalls, easy to learn as well. MikroTik's firewall is probably one of the, sorry about that, one of the simplest firewalls to learn. I wonder if I can quickly winbox just to one of these devices. I should be able to. Let me just quickly grab one of their, oh. Before I do that, I can see that this device is back up apparently. So I just want to jump onto it and see if it is actually working. If you wanted to set up a network to only route via VPN, would you prefer to use VRF so it only knows one route, or Mangle rules, trying to make my mind up which one I prefer, hence the VRF quest? So you could probably cleanly do it with VRFs. I do find that Mangles to an extent can cause a little bit of throughput issue as well. It does affect your throughput a little bit. Ironically, if you use the routing rules, that seems to be, even though it's technically still a Mangle rule as well, but it seems to be less, I would say, intrusive on the CPU. So it just works a bit better. What did you do? Yeah, MikroTik firewall in that is really, really good. Alright, let's quickly see. I know that I can't get onto that node just SSHing onto it, so let's just shell onto it. Or can I? Copy that, pop it in here. I dislike this when things struggle like this a bit. So I'm going to do something a little bit drastic. I am going to destroy the whole thing and do a cleanup, which just kills a lot of the backup stuff. And then I'm just going to redeploy the lab. And then hopefully it works better afterwards, because it's literally just a few things to copy paste for me. I should actually have set startup configs for the provider edges now. But this might be a good reason to just jump back into a MikroTik lab as well, because the MikroTiks boot up so much quicker, and if there's issues, it's so quick to also just redo them. Because these Junipers do take a couple of minutes. But I have found with Containerlab that the Junipers do feel like they boot up slightly faster than as on another network emulator. Because sometimes I know with something like Eve, I'd sometimes wait like 10, 15, even if it's like a big device, even 20 minutes just waiting for it to boot up. Right. So while that boots up, let me just quickly winbox into one of these MikroTiks and see if everything looks good, and just chat about the firewall a little, because I do love how easy the firewall is on MikroTik, or how easy it is to understand at least. I think it's comparable to IP tables, but in a good GUI manner, so it's easy to understand. CLab inspect. So let's just, I wonder if this host name, if I could just winbox onto that, that'd be cool. CD winbox. No, you guys can chat. It's awesome if you guys are chatting to each other. I really think it's good if the whole chat engages with each other as well. So this should just be one box. Like that. Man, let me just go into one box. And I don't know why I can't pin it on here. So technically, can I just use that host name to connect? I wonder. Let's do that. My opinion, Betel, is Winbox 4 is pretty good. Oh, there's an update. I didn't even know. Lots of little fixes. I'm not going to read through all of them though. I'll install it maybe. But I like Winbox. I really do. The new version of Winbox. It's grown on me. Maybe the Juniper just turning looks like booty, and that's why they're so slow. That's quite possible. Because there you see, they're still busy doing their thing. And I know for a fact, even though this PE01 shows it doesn't even show it's healthy or anything. It's just showing it's up. And if we look at the logs, you'll see it's still busy booting. It's still loading. It's not up yet. But it is kind of crazy to me that in my machine that I'm busy running the stream, I've got like a Juniper PTX and a ton of VMXs running at the same time. Like I think we've come quite a far way with what our hardware can support. It's crazy what I could do with MikroTiks. I could have like hundreds of these MikroTiks running in this lab. That's good to hear. I'm happy that you haven't had issues with Winbox 4 as well. I haven't had any major issues either, to be honest. What's this? Is this new? I don't recall them doing like a little pop-up showcasing that there's a router S update available. I don't know how new that is. Ah, so it is a new feature. Because I've never seen that before, so that's pretty cool. It gives you like a little notification. Hey, there's an update ready. But since this is a container, it doesn't really matter updating it, because if I update it and restart it, it's just gone anyways. But I do want to check something with the packages. How does this know there's an update? Because this doesn't have a route to get out. Do you ever add packages to Microtech? I have added a few packages. Stuff like zero tier, which I think is still a separate package that you need to update or load. But there's a few other packages that is useful, but I've mostly just used like zero tier as an extra package. Did you see the patch notes for routers? No, I haven't seen the patch notes. Let's read them just now. Is Juniper any different in UI after HPE acquisition? So I don't think so, because the way that I use Juniper is mainly just from the command line. Although I know HP but before HP even came into the mix, Juniper was doing stuff like their Mist and Jarvis bot, and it's like an ACI managed type of fabric thing. But I've literally never used it. Everything that I use with Juniper everything is from the CLI. So I can't really say, but I'm comfortable with it. I'm not unhappy that it's CLI. Wait, before I jump back onto the Microtech, I just want to see, is this device actually up? And more importantly, if I quickly just copy this config across, let me just start by having the config added to the provider node. So I do think I should be able to SSH to it now though, because I tore down the whole lab root and stem, so it had no configs or root configs anymore. So then we even see the hostname is hostname. Show configuration, display set. Alright, very basic configuration, so nothing extra. So let's just paste our configs in. There, that looks fine. That's fine, it doesn't matter. It's not going to save because I don't have a root authentication set, so let's just do that. Set system root authentication plain text. Let's just make it what the password is to log in. And that should allow me to save the config. I don't even think I set any hostname. Oh, I did. There we go. Which is fine, doesn't matter. So that's added. Let's just quickly jump onto PO1, admin at 123. Pop this basic config into this guy. Okay, and the last one, which is just PEO2. Configure. I've also seen recently that some of the I should say networking OGs, when it comes to network learning and training, have started a new like summer camp almost, with some of the newer guys as well. Even though I say newer guys, like Network Chuck, he's been around a while now, but I think it's Keith Barker and Chuck from the original CCNA videos, I think it was. No, that's Jeremy. Jeremy, that's the guy. He started a summer CCNA type of camp thing with Network Chuck and I think Keith Barker. Might be somebody else, but I know they're doing a thing together as well, which I think is nice. No, commit and quit. But I would be interested to see what's happening in the land of Cisco as well, if that's being more GUI central system SDN driven, or if it's still a lot of, you know, basic CLI stuff as well. PO1, can we get back into this? Show OSPF neighbor. Hey, we've got neighbors, so that is fantastic. If we have neighbors, then we should have LSPs that are up as well. We do. Right, so it's got that basic MPLS functionality, but it's literally bare bones at the moment. It doesn't really do anything. I'm actually just going to grab some of this config. I should actually save them and give them names, but it's fine, because this will be my PE3, and it's going to be very easy numbering for me. Actually, let's make it even easier. Well, I was going to say let's make it easier, but I realize now I'm inside of... Can I split windows? It seems like I can. Split editor. Okay. Alright. I learned something new as well. You see? I learn a lot all the time. So this is handy. Now I can just quickly fix up my configuration by looking at the canvas, because I know the loopback IP for PE3 is going to be 192.41.201.3. I don't own any of these public IPs. I just thumb suck them out of the ether, and this is where they exist now. So PE3, I just want your core links, your backhauls. You'll be 9 and 11. Oh, and I need to add LSPs on the other devices to this new P as well. At least that's quite easy to do. Ooh, and I need to add a few more. It's quick. It's quick, don't worry. Okay, I've got that added. So I'm just gonna call this PE3, and there's gonna be a third LSP. It's gonna go to P1, P2. So necessity is the mother of creation, so one always learns something new. That's true. It's good that you can also just think, hey, maybe the people that made Visual Studio Code were pretty smart, and maybe they do have like a... Because what I was about to do was I was just going to open up a new notepad and then have the config sit there and have the canvas like in a split screen. But since we can just do this straight in the application, that's awesome. P1 is 0, PE1 is 1, PE2 is 2. It's just got those two backhauls, that's fine. Traffic engineering, this is all fine. So I can copy that. If I move it back like, there we go. I just want to make sure this is in order though. So that is 1, 2, 3. Provider. So let's copy this, paste that onto our PE3. Admin at 123 configure. Show compare. Commit and quit. So I just need to add a few more bits of config to my PE 1 and 2, which is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm just going to copy the LSP because I know I'm going to need another LSP to PE03. And I'm also going to need to add a new interface. What did I put that on? I think I put it on GE002 on both of them, so it's quite easy. I could probably still have the split screen again, but it's fine to just quickly switch between. Did I full screen that? Yeah. Oops. To so I've added that. I just need to make sure that I have the IP addressing right. So that was .10. No, because I am on PE1, so that is .8. .8/31. So if I just copy paste everything, it will just upload or update the missing config. Show compare. There we go. New interface, new LSP. Added the protocol for MPLS, added it to OSPF, added it to RSVP. Is that fine? I think so. I'm gonna check. Commit and quit. And let me quickly fix up the config to, you know, these bits are all the same, so I can actually just copy paste. Was that up to the MPLS? Yeah, those bits are, that's like the lazy way of doing it. So PE02 to PE03. Right, that's fine. Let's just add our new interface. 222, and this is going to be 10. Yeah. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I believe our host wanted to with that combo, so waiting on comments from his side. So I see you guys are chatting about Ansible, and I think I've done a video a while back on Ansible, but I even I used the wrong word for, I wanted to say indentation, but then I kept saying indentured and it made it sound like I'm talking about slavery when it comes to coding. But yes, that's totally viable. We actually use Ansible in our own network, but it's not to MikroTik's. because the issue with MikroTik and Ansible is it's all just done as run commands almost. So if you're adding or pushing a VLAN using the Ansible playbook, and you run the same playbook again, it's just going to push the VLAN config again. It doesn't like match it and say, okay, it's already there, and anything like that. It just pushes the commands. So that is the one downside. But you could definitely do something like template, some type of automated configuration for like a first time setup almost, I think. If you want to easily just set up a site and have it have all of the basic things that you really wanted to have. But I think we have a good use case with some of our Ansible playbooks when it comes to what did I move around now? The name. So the point is, the larger your network starts to grow, so this is still a fairly manageable lab. I mean, we've got a little ISP core network with what, like 4 nodes that will transit traffic and then a route reflector. But the more this ISP network grows, let's say instead of 4 nodes there's 100 nodes, or there's 500 nodes, and if we're using stuff like MPLS LSPs or label switch paths, like the ones that I'm configuring in text right now, these label switch paths, I'm having to configure this to each and every other provider edge device. So if I had to do this manually every time, let's say I need to bring a new node into the network, and I had to log into each and every of the 500 nodes to add the new label switch path, I mean, that's going to take me a bit of time to do. That's not really nice to do. So you can use something like Ansible to push that config just to all of the other devices, and it makes your life so much easier. So I can definitely say Ansible can definitely improve your quality of life when it comes to doing certain things on the network, especially with management side of things. I just want to read a bit more chat. VLANs are always painful to set up, even for seasoned admins. So VLANs are definitely an interesting thing, and the reason I like VLANs is because it's such a simple concept if you think about it. But yes, it breaks. It's a really difficult thing for a lot of people, especially new people that are trying to understand what a VLAN is. Because I remember when I just started working at a call center for an ISP. I mean, I did all the basic troubleshooting and stuff, but the moment people was talking about VLANs and VLAN tags, it was like waves going over my head. I had no idea what they were talking about. And then when you finally get to like study it properly and learn how a VLAN works, then it's like, oh wow, okay, that's why it works the way it works. Hi, one question. How can you view the graphic on Visual Studio? Is it a special plugin? Oh, I see that my good friend just answered you. So what you're seeing is Containerlab plugin. So I can quickly show you where to get it. Well, not where. You can just find, or you can just go to the extension tab, and then from extension you can just find the Containerlab extension and install that. Ansible today is still the lingua franca for many, but it's not what I like personally today. I don't want node by node approaches, but it can be a good start. I leave that to you, Flash. I think you guys are ahead of the curve when it comes to automation. I feel like I'm a caveman almost when it comes to automation. So let's just jump back into my topology. Zoom in a bit. Actually, I clicked fine like that. I can actually just close the extension tab again, because that's what's making it look a little bit weird. So where was I? I've interrupted my train of thought. I think I was busy adding some LSPs. Network, have you used VS Codium instead of VS Code? No, I have not. I will have to take a look at what VS Codium is. I'll take a look after the stream or tomorrow and just mosey about. So I want to just get back into the configs. I've added this for PE2, but have I actually applied the configs to PE2? I think that's what I haven't done yet. So let's jump onto PE02. Admin at 1, 2, 3, configure. Pop that all there. Alright, so last bit is I just need to create a LSP from the provider device. PO1. Admin at 1, 2, 3. Show space set, grab MPLS. Alright, but I should actually just put this in that text file, since I'm going to use these text files as startup configs as well. .3. Paste that in, show compare. And quit. So let's have a look and see. That looks good. That looks really good. I am happy with that because we are seeing label switch paths towards our loopback addresses. Cool, so that's really, really basic connectivity. Now I just need to connect up my route reflector so we can actually reflect routes back to the whole network. Otherwise I'd have to form BGP sessions with everything, which is not fun. But that's something I've wondered about, since we do live in this wonderful age of automation and AI. Is it really that difficult to manage a full meshed BGP network? Do we still need to use route reflectors? Who wouldn't be allergic if we were to create a list of most hated big tech companies? Mike, first 3, and Adobe another 2, 3. I can agree with I can agree with that. I think Adobe has actually I don't want to say tricked me before, but I've tried using stuff like Photoshop, or you know, when they went to the cloud thing, and then they sell you like this special cloud offer. And I swear a lot of companies do this on purpose, where they get you to join on like a massive reduced price for the first 6 months. But they're so sneaky about it that they do send you like a reminder mail, but it's definitely worded in a way that it just automatically gets sent into a junk email folder, and then you don't realize you're suddenly bumped up to almost you get pushed from like $10 a month to like $60 a month suddenly for the same service. It's so gross. It's happened to me as well with some code programs. What's it, Code Academy or something it was called, where they also had like a special sign up. You sign up once, like a Black Friday deal almost, and it's like almost 100% off. And then when the subscription auto renews, it does the same thing. It's almost, I don't want to say scummy, but it's like it's made for people to forget about their subscription, and then it just auto renews at a much higher price. And maybe I should move off of Microsoft. Maybe I should do the commit to Linux. Let's see. I was going to just set up OSPF. That's the cool thing about the route reflector, though. I don't need to set up the MPLS and traffic engineering bits and everything like that. It's literally just OSPF and BGP sessions. And then a few little weird bits and bobs I need to do with the route table. let me just get the OSPF up for the route reflector. But before I do that, let me just save this config. That's fine. Let me just create a new folder, call it startups. This was PE01. What is this? I want it to be batch. PE02. Luckily, their monopoly sees its last days with viable alternatives like affinity and self-consumption of stock images with Firefly. I even went as far as building my own Windows 11 ISO, removing all the bad stuff, but of course broke after a year with one of their updates. That's exactly it. I mean, I think I've seen quite a few de-bloat Windows repository stuff as well, and then you run it and it works. And then Microsoft just pushes one update and then all that bloatware is back again. Let's just save this as PE3. I don't know why I saved this as another file. It's weird. Save this as PO1. Alright, so let's just grab one of these devices and just fine-tune a little bit of the config. So new file, paste that in. I think I've just got this single uplink onto the provider device, which is GE00 to ET003. I don't even think I need the MPLS bits, so I can just take MPLS off as well. I think I said I'm going to make that 255, so that's fine. 255. IP is .7. Doesn't need any of the label switch paths. It doesn't need LDP. It doesn't need MPLS. It will need OSPF with traffic engineering. It will need a passive interface for allo0. Wow, look how much I've chopped off that config. But there is definitely more that's going to get added, like the BGP config itself. So this is going to be my RR01. Copy you. And I know I do need to add another IP to my provider device as well. So I'll do that in a minute. Let's just get onto that route reflector quickly. RR01 admin at 123 configure with banquet. Quit. And then PO1. At 123. And that was ET003. I don't actually think I need to set the speed to anything. I think it just looks weird when I look at a PTX interface in the container environment and it shows like it's 400 gig. But it's not an issue. So 3. And that is going to be .6. So I'm just going to, I need to add this to the OSPF config as well. Copy that, paste that. Compare, commit and quit. Let's have a quick look-see and see what's happening. Show OSPF neighbor. Alright, that's good. So this should mean that my route reflector should be able to get to all of my PEs. Didn't use the deep load, used the pre-built PowerShell tool a guy developed since he oversaw 10,000 systems for his company. Developed to have 110% control on the builds being pushed out. Well, that's fair. I mean, that sounds really good. I can understand where he's coming from. I've seen some of our system administrators also have quite a tight ship when it comes to how updates gets managed on our corporate laptops, at least. I don't need to configure anything. I just want to see, can I see routes to all of my... Alright, I see all the OSPF routes, which is fine. The most important bit is, do I see 1, 2, 3, and 0? Cool. Oh, I do want to check, does this MikroTik actually have internet out quickly? And I also wanted to have a look at the MikroTik, what's that, ISP01, the software versions. And this is where I get like so confused sometimes. IP route print. This is weird. I could see that other device was able to at least see package update. Although when I updated Winbox, that was through my local machine. Okay, that makes sense. So Winbox just picked up there is an update for the next version. So it's not that the MikroTik saw the update, if that makes sense. Because if I do like a system package update, check for update, it's not going to be able to find anything because it can't get out to the internet. Even though Winbox is showing me, hey, there is a new router S version available. So I do think that's just tied to Winbox, which is obviously running on my local machine. So let's just quickly fix this, and it's actually a quick fix. IP route add destination default route out. With our gateway, it's going to be 172.31.255.29. So that should get us intranet. That it does. Then let's see, can I add some DNS, IP DNS server, IP DNS set server 1111.9999. So we've got internet out that way, which means we should be able to get to the MikroTik update servers. But there's one more thing I do want to do, and that is just a basic firewall rule. IP firewall, it's going to be a NAT rule. Chain source NAT out interface equals ether1, and action will be mask. This is just going to be later on in this type of lab, whenever things get to this MikroTik ISP and it needs to go to the internet. It's just going to give us real internet access to this network. It will just feel a lot better if I test things, because I might actually do something like put some virtual Linux container hosts sitting behind these MikroTiks and test things. showcase actual experiences, if that makes sense. But let's quickly have a look at the updates. So system package update. I just want to see the what is my channel. It is in update. Oh, you can set your channel to, let's check if there's anything new for long term. System update check. Oh, there is a new version available. Too bad it doesn't like show you the updates like it does in Winbox, like the little window. Let me disconnect on that the host, and let's just connect onto MikroTik ISP01. There we can see, right. So since I did have the channel set to the latest long-term build, it can pick that up as well, which is nice. If I click on that, it's just gonna, what does it do? Nice. Okay, so there's a little pop-up window showing us what's what. So 7215, a few little updates, BFD fixed delay, that's fine. Just some print stuff being fixed. End of root processing, sounds interesting. It's not a too heavy update, but if we look at the, let's go to the testing build. I want to see what's in the testing build. 7.24. What do we have? 724 doesn't even have a lot. 723 did have quite a bit, it seems. So I'm just looking at some of the main updates. I'm not going to run an update because, like I said, it's kind of pointless on the container to do that. So we've got internet out like that. So now I guess we actually want to build a few more inside the ISP stuff. Would love to switch to Linux, but there are so many cooks in that space. I think it's worthwhile to switch. I mean, even though I mainly use Windows because of just how the support works for a lot of like the applications like games that I use, but Linux is really caught up. I mean, my brother just mainly uses Linux and he plays so much stuff. He's always showing me everything he's emulating as well, which looks so impressive. So I think Linux might actually be worthwhile to just switch to, even if there are a lot of cooks. Gothic runs fine. That's awesome to hear. It's been running fine on Windows as well. I think they pushed some updates though, because I remember when it just launched, it was like watching a fever dream. Even the intro cinematic was stuttering badly, but that's been fixed. It runs really well now. I still need to actually play the new Gothic. I have it. I've listened to the music obviously, but I really need to just sit down and play it. But it feels so different to the original Gothic, and I read stuff like you can get on a mount and stuff, so there's definitely changes to the original as well. So the next logical step for me now would be to just build the BGP sessions for my devices. At least towards the route reflector, so that we can actually then start doing stuff like importing, exporting routes for our customer stuff. But that's one bit I can do. I wonder how cool I could make this lab look if I just added a few more. Sorry, I don't want to get off a tangent, but there's a few cool things that I can still think of doing, especially with. I want to test out a few EVPN features as well. But that's not. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. Add some traffic rates. So I can, but my issue with these nodes, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the case with these VMXs because I'm not running any license on them, and I think they do exactly what the MikroTik CHRs do, where it caps the traffic to 1 meg. So an interesting bit would be if I just run like a bandwidth test between MikroTiks, and then I could definitely do stuff like tweak what's it with link impairments, I think. There's really cool stuff. But what I want to do is bring back that panel. And since we're running a live topology, which I'm still really impressed about, then we can just drag some nodes in. And I did show it earlier in the lab that like it's so cool that it just in real time there it's adding this just into the YAML file. Let's just add. Man, this lab is going to look a bit weird, but in a good way. The question is, can I still make it look neat? So I just think it's cool that I can add this stuff in real time. Create some links. Maybe pop that there. What's that? MikroTik is Ether2. Juniper is. We just do G6. And create another link. Pop that onto PE1. This kind of feels like I'm creating a summoning circle for something if if I look at the links. That could also just be 6006. Actually, I'm going to delete that node because I've changed my mind and I want to see, does it remove it in real time there? Delete those two. Gone. Create link. Snap on right there. Ether2 GE007. Create link. Ether3. I made a mistake. I made a good mistake and I can see it now before I deploy. But I already know it's not going to allow me to apply this change because I've got two of the same interface there on that device. But I want to actually just try and push it and see what it does. And then it's going to fail and then we're just going to fix it. So let's try and push it, see what CLab tells me. Immediately it tells me, hey, there's duplicate endpoint. It's not going to work. Perfect. I'm happy because it was supposed to not work. So let's just quickly update that link to Ether3. And then if we apply that, before I apply it, I do just want to, but I think I can change the node names. Or if you change the node name, is that going to restart the node? MTK CE 04 and 05. Pop that at the top. MTK CE 05. Bottom is fine. So maybe like there. That looks better. Let's deploy that. Yeah, I think it is going to restart the nodes where you're connecting the... Oh, does it if you're changing the host name as well? Added links, recreated nodes. That's so cool. I really like that. And quickly duplicate that. Pop that there, pop that there. Spacing feels slightly off. There, that looks better. But I'm not gonna do BGP with that. I might do... Maybe that's a good case for the EVPN. But I'm literally just adding nodes to see if I can add them. And duplicate that. Plus 2. Site 1. Right click, duplicate, same thing as the shortcut key. Site 2. So that looks good. Just check something, because these orange glasses does make colors look a bit different. So I do want to make the colors a bit different for... Yeah, that's nice. Not the same color as the internet. Maybe something like that. Watching others is best. No, it's good. I'm happy if you're watching as well. Thank you. And if it helps you at all with any ideas, that's also cool. That was the new thingy. There we go. It is like connected, but it's connected dots in a really cool manner. There we go. And the only thing, and I don't want to say it's like a nitpick or something, but if I create like these text objects, these annotations, then we can also add like a fill, which is quite cool. But to me, the fill also looks a bit much, if that makes sense. Because maybe something, but it's really more like a personal thing. But I might like to put like a fold annotation over the link, but not make it look like a brick. But it works fine like this as well. It's really a minor thing. The rest is really clean though. And I'm really impressed that I can do this stuff in a running lab, that I don't need to tear all of this down to do it. Because how cool is that? That looks so cool. Although I'm kind of getting lost with everything, but at least with this customer side too, since this will be EVPN, we don't need to worry about any IP addresses. I don't need to add anything there. Redundancy built into redundancy. I think this actually would cost a lot for people to have dual links for each of their sites and have failover. And I know we do run a lot of setup like this, but I think it must cost a lot. So don't need to make any changes there. It's literally just the BGP that I need to get back on. So AS is 222. Let's jump back onto the Junipers then. Let's start with JMPR PEO1. And then set routing options, autonomous system 222. That should be fine. And set protocols BGP. Route reflection. Oh. Route reflection. So type is internal. And we can set our AS. Although I think when you set it internal, it should automatically set the peer AS as whatever your AS is. Is it local AS? Local AS. And it should already just use the autonomous system that I have. I think I'm just doing this out of habit. Route reflector IP, which is this guy here. What can we do? I'm going to add some families as well. I wonder, can you just add all of them? It would be nice if I could just say all, but that doesn't work that way. Let's do inet. Unicast. Or I should just be able to do inet as well. Oh no, I can't. Okay. Inet unicast. Family L2 VPN. Signaling. EVPN. Signaling. Pretty sure it should be inet VPN as well. Show compare. It could, but I don't think it's going to apply it like because you can do stuff like apply groups and then use asterisks in that, and maybe it could work that way. But I'm not sure. I'd have to test it out. Which seems to be a good place to do it in a lab, but I just want to firstly just get the BGP sessions up, and then I'll do some trimming and tweaking. Alright, that's fine. There's a few more things we need to set, like our next hop self. Let's just get the peer up so long. So I've already done show compare. Let me check. It's probably gonna. It's interesting that it's not complaining about license on the VMX, gotta go. Good night, pals. Good night, Vettel. Thank you for joining the stream. I do appreciate it. So with that in mind, show display, show configuration, display set, grid, and BGP. I don't think I need to specify that all in the neighbor though. I could just put that all in the group. Let's jump onto this and just add it here. I'm just quickly going to take out a few bits. Then here we should be able to do a neighbor. And then I can just add my neighbor IPs. Which is going to be .0. Do you say description or do you put name? Let's quickly just go on there and then I can see. Well, I can just do it from here as well. Is it description? Yeah, description. P01. P01. Keep it capitals. If I'm gonna do capitals, PO2. PO3. Okay, copy that. Put there, exit there. Into my RR1. Yeah, I think it's because I somehow saved it as a batch file by accident when I control ist. but it's fine. Configure. There. Just want to see, do we get a BGP session come up? We should. Hang on, why does it mean no route to host? I've lost the routes. Show OSPF neighbor. So this guy still has a neighborship with the one device. So the question is, let me just get out of there. PO1. 1, 2, 3. Do you have the routes? How bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. So I think when I added these new links and these nodes redeployed, it somehow bricked the connection to that PTX, and this is kind of the issue I've been seeing to the PTX for a while, and I'm not sure if it's something with this latest version of VMX that I have on Containerlab, or if it's something with the PTX. And I'm pretty sure that these two PEs will have a OSPF relationship or neighborship with each other. Let me just confirm that quickly. Quit. So I go into PE01. Show OSPF neighbor. No. It doesn't have any neighbors. And I know when I save this config, it doesn't reapply it properly to these VMXs. So I'm either going to just copy this config as startup config again and do a quick redeploy. Just wondering, are you planning on any new videos series on your channel, or is IRL taking on too much time? So I do want to make more videos, and I think I am in a position that I can make more videos. There's definitely moments where I have time, especially in the evenings, you know, after I put the little one to bed, and there's definitely like a 2-3 hour period where I shouldn't say 3, but probably more like 2 hours, but there is a window where I can definitely make videos, and I'd love to make some more videos. I should make more videos, but I think earlier in the stream when I just started, I mentioned that it's not that I feel burnt out, but there is so much content these days on YouTube that, I mean, my lack of posting has already pushed my channel lower in the algorithm, but I feel almost burnt out looking at all of the other content creators just at the pace and rate that they are creating content, and I don't feel like I can keep up with that. But I'll definitely make more videos. Don't worry about that. Rest assured, more videos will come. I just don't think I can put up with the same type of schedule as some of the other tech channels. But to be fair and do my own defense, a lot of the times these channels are also, this is how they make their livelihood, is through their channel and sponsorships and what have yous. So to them it's like, you know, it's life or death almost to have to grow the channel, whereas for me, I do have a career on the outside, and then the YouTube is just more as a hobby. But I should seriously make more videos, because the more I stop not uploading videos, the more YouTube hates me, to be quite frank. I know YouTube just pushes me down in the algorithm. I can like watch it on something like Social Blade, and I can see how every week my view counts just drop. But that's just it. I think it's important not to chase that that bull, because a lot of people they chase the views, they chase the, you know, the attention. They want to be watched, they want to be on top, they want to be the number one, and I think it becomes so all consuming so quickly if you're not careful. I get what you're saying, but one of the reasons I always come back to your stuff is that it is currently more correct information than 99% of other content creators. Well, I appreciate that. And I do feel like what I excel at is failing a lot, and then learning from that failure, and then being able to also try and explain why that failure occurred and how, you know, you can get past it and make a solution work, because that is so many times that we just need to make things work. I think you're right. MikroTik is definitely one of the less spoken about topics on YouTube. Is definitely very open. It's a lot easier to get into making a MikroTik, you know, videos and content as opposed to you know, getting into Cisco. That no offense to Cisco. Cisco's really powerful and everybody uses Cisco and everybody knows Cisco. I learned Cisco. That's the first like big networking thing that I learned was Cisco stuff. But there's a bajillion channels that you can watch, and it's so easy to get lost in that in the algorithm. And to me, like with the shorts that people are also pushing out, to me, man, I don't want to say I get upset, but when I see influencers post stuff about network, and you know they make it like little skits and stuff, it makes me feel like, is this what you built your career for, to see this this type of nonsense almost? Yeah, Cisco's too proprietary. I can agree with that statement. I think they kind of open up their EIGRP as well, but like, who really uses that? I just think there was a time when Cisco was the only real networking vendor companies, like big companies, could choose. So everybody just, you know, that's kind of what you had to learn. When I started working in the call center, it was Cisco at all of the CPEs and LNSs and all kind of stuff like that. And then we actually did have Juniper devices at that time as well in the core network. But then as I grew out of that role and moved into other positions, then I started get to experience more real world things, and that's where I eventually ran into Microtech, and I just fell in love. And even that ISP, that call center that I used to work for, they've kicked out all of the, well, mostly all of their Cisco kit, unless there's like some weird customer requirement. I think, you know, like some customers are like, I'm just going to use Cisco. So those niche cases, they'll still use Cisco, I think. But for most part, their network consists mostly of their CEs, or their CPEs is just Microtech now, which is really cool. I hate all these other network dudes with their Unify networks and use this video about the hottest application to run in a container. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've chased some of those videos as well, especially when I started making a few container videos with Microtech, because you know you're like almost like clickbait. It's almost like the thumbnail for this video. I don't want to say it's clickbait, but it's stuff that like draws people's attention. So then you're like, oh wow, you look at this. This container is so crazy. I think that the title's like, this container is going to change your life, or you won't believe what this container does. Something silly like that. Like I don't like that about the YouTube game. Like that is really where it feels like a bit icky. But I still need to figure out what I'm going to do about these nodes that are no longer able to talk. And I think I'm just going to grab all my config and paste them in that saved config, or the here, so that I know I have the config. And then I might redeploy the lab again. PE02. Unify is the Apple of networking, literally and figuratively. Nah, that's true. I completely agree with that in the sense that aesthetically, Unify is like really visually appealing. Like you freaking get like RGB controlled switches and stuff like that. It's like, you know, it's a bit weird, but it looks cool. But I've never really used much Unify products. I think I've done a video on, what's it? Did I do a Ubiquiti controller? I think I did. Yes, I did. But it's very minimal exposure that I have to it. Space set. Oh, PE2's lost all of its config. Huh. That's an interesting one. So the question is, how much did I have on PE2? To be fair, yeah, I realized something. PE1 has also lost all of its config. So now I know why my BGP is not coming up, because I have no interface config and I have no OSPF config. It should be a quick fix. I should have actually saved the config before I fiddled around and added more nodes. And I don't think this is a Containerlab issue. I think this is me with these the latest build images for these VMXs. I think something isn't grafting well with them. So let me just quickly rebuild some of my config. So it'll be easy to rebuild it in the sense of I can just grab this BGP bit and put it in my PE2. I should actually set my source as the loopback address as well, which I'll fix in a minute. This one from Microtech forced me to learn stuff. No, that's 20. And Microtech have one of the best price feature ratio. I honestly can't argue with that. Microtech's probably the best for what you get with what you pay for. I mean, you get everything with even the smallest little thingy, like one of those little hap lights. It's got all the features. It's not, you're probably not going to run a whole MPLS network off of it, but you could definitely add all of those features and it should work. So that is a big up, like big feat from Microtech's side, that they actually have all of this functionality at even the lowest price point. So I think the other bit I want to do is, but I'll fix the BGP bit. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the microphone there. Let me just grab the interface config and pop that in there. And then I just need to update my IPs quickly. I think that is 148. 148. That's not too bad. And then just update that PE1 to PE2 and 3. That's at least a nice bit with having my config quite similar on all of the nodes. So it's quite easy to fix if I break something like in this event. That should be fine. Okay, so I'm quickly going to just apply this onto my... Well, I'm already on PE2, so let's just grab the PE2 config. Configure. And let's do a... I think this should be a... I'm looking for the update source or local address. And that is just going to be my loopback IP. That. Oh, what am I doing? Commit and quit. So configuration, display set, And there's just this bit I want to add additional to my PE1. Although I can add it to PE2 quickly on the config that I'm going to use as startup config anyways. Okay, that looks fine. Copy that. Put PE01 admin configure paste show compare commit and quit. And let's just quickly go back onto the RR and see, do we learn our routes now? Hopefully we do. Show route. I don't see the routes yet. Let's just go on to P01. It might be doing that thing I was talking about where the PTX isn't coming up. Show OSPF neighbor. Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. If I do show int et001 links up. If I ping .1, it's just like timing out. Just copy that to there. .3. .0. Let me just have a quick look in our home, C-Lab Juniper, startups. Right. So those all look fine to me. Let me just grab the MikroTik while I'm at it. Even though it was very basic config that I added onto it. With MTK, ISP01, admin, export. Let's just copy all of this. Pop it in here. I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. DNS I'll leave in. NAT I'll leave in. Root I'll leave in. Just these 3 bits. MTK01. MTK-ISP01. Okay. So let's quickly add startup configs for them. Also want to check something quickly. System resource. I wonder if the memory gets allocated when you build the container, or if we can increase that, because I can see I have set the memory limits for it to be increased, but it doesn't seem to take it on the node. So I think that's something I might need to change in VRNet when you make the image. Anyways, let's just quickly do a lazy thing, go onto the documentation. I'm pretty sure it's just start up. Where is it? Startup config. Yeah. So startup config, this should be what's that directory? startups. And that should be mtk-isp01. Nice, I see the way I'm going as well. Network security is very interesting. Hence why I built an extra box to run the next server on, so I can start going down all the rabbit holes. Yeah, there's tons of rabbit holes to be going on. That's the interesting thing about technology itself. Like there's always going to be some crazy rabbit hole, especially now with the advent of the age of AI. So this is going to be PE01. Do I need to rename it as text? I'll just rename it as .txt, I guess. PE02 text. PE03. No, that's PE01. I wonder with no, it's fine the way it is. I was just thinking of it would be interesting if when you add a new node and it would look at the node name and then add it under the same like starting words. So let's do RR01. Then I had the PE03. And let's just save that. But this lab's gotten quite beefy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a full destroy cleanup. And then I hope if I deploy it, it's going to run it with the startup configurations. And then hopefully everything just works. So let's deploy it again. Okay, it's not finding the startup config. Let me take the .text out. Should place it. Save it. Deploy it. Yeah, it seemed to like that a bit more. CRX. I don't think I've seen any CRX models. While this boots up, let me quickly look at that. Microtik.com. Hardware switches. I've seen them bring out a lot of new Microtik videos. Oh, all right. No, that's fine. I thought there was another new Switch version. It wouldn't surprise me if Microtik brought out a CRX. Like I legit thought there was a new, like a new layer 3 Switch came out, like a special Switch. Interesting products. I take it the cloud is, or the flagship router is still the CCR, what's it, 22, not 2216, I'm pretty sure there's a bigger one. Or is it, actually I do think it's the 2216. That's the flagship. Yeah, it even says it's the flagship. That's alright. Microtik has, like I just said, Microtik has been releasing so much new products. Like, look at this thing. CRS 812. Look at that. Two 400 gig ports. 850 gig SFP56. Like, yeah, this is something that you'll definitely be putting, like, more than likely at a data center or something. That this thing would work more for aggregation. Like, it's crazy how much capacity it has. Like, that's crazy. And this is the view hex. Cap X3. This is still my thing. It's on my table. I put it up and show it to the camera, but then then I dropped the whole stream. And then the Rose data server. They sent out so many of these servers to like other little, I don't want to say little YouTubers, but they I don't know if they gave it to them, but must admit I'm a little bit jealous. Let's look at that. That thing would work nice as like some type of caching thing, especially for your containers as well. Hello. I think this thing's also pricey. What do they sell for even? Where do they even... Was it on the Ethernet routers? I don't even know where they had it listed. Is it here? RDS. I don't even know how to search for stuff in their catalog anymore. It's so weird now. It wouldn't be under switches. Is it under the IoT products? No? Do they consider it to be a switch? Oh, there it is. So it was under the Ethernet routers. That's still a lot of money, and I mean I'm pretty sure the distributors will sell it for even more than 2K. I'm pretty sure they'll mark it up to like 2.5 at a minimum, which is a lot of money to have this at your house. But it would be cool. It would be so nice just having this just like sit in a little rack. Has my stuff deployed yet is the question. Please show they are up. If I log on to PE01. Getting prompted for login, that's good. Show configuration, display set. It's got my config, which is good. Show BGP sum. BGP peer is not up. Let me just go into the RR quickly. RR01, admin at123. Show routes. My routing table is way too small, so I definitely still have some issue. Is it going to be that the PTX is still not doing its thing? Or maybe it's even still booting, I don't know. P01. I mean, I can see. Let's go and do a little shell. Actually, logs. Let's go to the login prompt. So it should be up. But it's doing that thing where it says there's no route to host. And this is actually where I shelled into it previously. But it doesn't seem like it's taking it. Is the container different? Should be this guy. So there's our ID. And it looks a bit different, doesn't it? Question is, which one can I connect to? Maybe if I do attach the shell. System is not yet ready. So, is this thing still booting? Seems like it. Yeah, let's just give it a minute. I think I'm gonna go until the soundtrack's finished, which means we still got like 3 songs, which is cool. Are you? Why do I feel like this PTX is not playing ball with me? How long has it been? What did I do? I clicked something and I have no idea what I clicked. I'm just going to give it like 2-3 minutes. And if it doesn't work still, then I might just reboot that node or I'll redeploy the lab again. I've recently got an ASN and some IP space, got a direct internet access ISP lined up, and am eyeballing some CCR 2116s. The 2116s are a great choice, and they should work perfectly. I just want to check how much memory does the 2116s have? But they should work. But it also depends like what you're going to do. Are you going to take a full routing table as well, or are you just going to get like a default originate from your ISP? CCR 2116. Yeah, this is plenty. That's plenty. This should handle it just fine. Ethernet 13, is that like a management port or something? I like this device. Hello, Nicola. My brain melted it, Nicholas. Sorry, mate. My brain melted for a second. I don't know that. I know there's still some limitation to hardware offloading on MikroTik, so... And the problem is doing it with virtual labs is it's not a good representation of what the devices are actually capable of. Is this thing up yet? I think this thing, like, is not going to play ball. So I'm going to destroy and clean up again. No, I'm having some issue with this Juniper PTX. And it's working, but it sometimes acts a bit finicky in the lab, so I just need to sometimes redeploy the lab. Just gonna look at the logs for this as well. What is it? Ooh. I'm not sure. Nicholas, I think I've seen you mention the default route not redistributing properly inside a VRF, but that was like a year or two ago. You made a comment about that, and I don't think I've actually tested it out. So I could probably have a go in a pure MikroTik lab and see. Yeah, the support ticket. And what did MikroTik say? Oh, so is it fixed now? Yeah, I know, Flush. There's actually so much. It's so unfortunate that I can only play the original score. Since the other music is very, very licensed, that's like playing on the radios and stuff on in the Cyberpunk game, but this song it hits hard. The next song, which is the first song of the album, is just as good for me. Although technically this one is nicer, more more relaxing, but V's theme, which is this song, like this is also pretty good. Yeah, I'm a big Cyberpunk fanatic as well. I don't know. It's like a world that I can get lost in. Just like Gothic, ironically. I think, in my opinion, it might be a bit biased, but Polish and German developers really know their stuff. They really make really good games and stuff. Like, it's not just the games, but good engineering. Yeah. Also, you can't play with VXLAN with VRF. It's not supported. Do you mean like VXLAN with EVPN or just like normal VXLAN, Nicholas? Yeah, multiple things have been fixed for VRFs and many others have been added, like the option to reference them in firewall rules. Yeah, I'm sure there's a few, yeah, we just have to check the wiki and see what they've actually been doing with regards to the updates. And when I say wiki, I mean the documentation. Alright, it looks like this thing has booted back up again. So the question is, let's just jump onto one of these. Go back here. See that, inspect. Although I don't really need to do that. Just go on to PO1. Show SPF neighbor. So I don't have a neighbor with 0 yet, which is the link down to the PTX. Down to 41.200.0. Looks like it's up. Let's see if we can connect to it through the CLI PO1. It's probably just going to tell me no route to host. Oh, it's still busy booting and doing things. Let me give it like 4 more minutes. And while we're at it, YouTube. Oh. I don't remember signing into YouTube on my main account. I wanted to just check out the Microtech YouTube stuff. Do they still do their newsletter? I don't think I've seen a newsletter pop up on their website in a while. Never mind, there it is. Ah. VRF offloading. There we go. That's what you were just talking about, Nicholas. Good old Juvis giving us the update. I had a look at this Dante thing and it looks cool. Not something I use, but it looks cool. I mean, I'm happy that they are doing changelog videos. I really am happy. I just like this. I don't know. Can we say it's a meme? Whatever this is. The issue is I still don't really know what it is. And then when my son was still only 4 years old, he was like talking about this. So he was learning this from his nursery slash early school year thing. So it really makes me feel old when I don't get the reference at all. I get the thing. I understand like what they're doing. I just feel like kids are doing it to annoy old people. Hey Network, are you in the UK or RPA as I remember? So I'm in the UK at the moment. Been here for a couple of years now, and it's really a nice country. It's really hot at the moment though with the summer, but it's not too bad. I mean, I've had worse heat, so this is fine. Alright, is this thing up yet? I don't know if this extra config that I'm adding is somehow messing up the piece. I'm gonna do one more thing, well, one more destroy with a cleanup, and I also don't think that the meme has any meaning. I think kids literally just do it because it riles up their parents and teachers and stuff, and they know like people don't understand what it is, so they just spam the emoji. I'm just gonna check out the startup config from my PO1. Just deploy it straight, and then I'll just re-add the config. I think something with the config I'm adding is busting it. Let's deploy. Alright, I think this will go a lot better. And while we're waiting, let me just add a few more little bops and bits in the lab. EVPN. because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do EVPN with these two sites. And the cool thing is I should be able to do ESI lag with the Junipers, which will be interesting to see how it works. Because to the Microtech it will just look like just a normal like lag, like a bonding ether bond. But the Junipers do all the magic. Yeah, the AI from the billionaires is quite a an interesting thing. And I think they're getting so many people hooked onto it, and then there's going to be this weird like token price increase, and I don't know, we're going to see. We're definitely in interesting times. For me, the biggest issue for me personally with all of this is how it is impacting consumer prices as well. Because if I just want to buy a new stick of RAM or something, it's so expensive. I should have upgraded my machine like last year in the beginning when I thought about upgrading some components, and now it's going to cost me like 400% more to upgrade the same stuff. It's ridiculous. And I mean that's just from a consumer perspective. It's not to mention all of the weird stuff that comes with it. But don't get me wrong, I'm not against AI. There's really good use cases for it as well, but there's also really bad cases for it as well. And I think that also disconnects me a bit as a content creator. If I'm making videos on YouTube and I'm like scrolling just my Facebook feed, or I'm scrolling YouTube videos, especially like with the short form content, and like almost every third or fourth thing you see is just like, you know, it's not even real anymore. And I get so concerned when I look at some of these videos and I see the comments, and I don't know if it's actual people or if it's just other AI bots like responding to the AI content to hype it up. So it's bad, man. It's almost like that dead internet theory that people had, but with, instead of bots, it's like AI. That makes it even worse to me if it's like actual people that's like, hooray, look at it. I agree, Flosh. I agree. I feel like when I was younger and I started out doing stuff on the internet, it felt like I was exploring an untamed world, and there was really weird things you could find on the internet. Now, I'm sure there's still weird things you can find if you search for it, but it's really so curated almost. And the internet makes us follow a specific path and see certain things. Oh. Is this actually this thing's logs? Yeah, no, don't give. There was really messed up things on the old internet. I'm not sure. Like shock sites was a really bad thing on the internet back in the day. Like you could really, it almost felt like the freaking dark web. You might end up at the wrong web page, and you'd see stuff that it's not normal. So it's maybe good those type of things are less common now. Oh yes, AI moderation on YouTube is really ridiculous. I've seen channels get strikes, people just lose out on their livelihood on YouTube that make it their livelihood because of how YouTube just false flags them and turns off their videos, and it's weird, man. And then I think the sad part is many times these creators need to reach out to YouTube via platforms like Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, and they literally need to, you know, stir the pot and make a big show of it before somebody even an actual person helps them. It's really sad. Alright, I wonder, can I get onto that thing now? Now we can. So definitely something with how I add config to this PTX it doesn't like. I might just do the bit where I don't set the hostname either, though I doubt that would break it. That was my PO1. Let's get rid of that. Copy this bit. Paste that in there. Show compare. Show or split neighbor. Nice, nice, nice. Neighbors are coming up. Yay, we got full neighbors. So this might mean that my route reflector finally has some BGP sessions as well. What would you know? I think the session to PE2 should establish as well. It's just probably still some hold timer. See, can we reach that? 41212. Yeah. Let's just give it a minute. Well, maybe I could try and force the session here. BGP neighbor. Ah, brother. Hello. How are you? Hang on. Let me just quickly see what I'm doing on my PO2. Maybe I've got some misconfiguration there. Admin add 123 show configuration display set. Config looks fine. I don't have no. There's my BGP config. That's fine. That's fine. It's all good. 255. You can get there. Show me some. Just joined, but it looks like you're in the middle of some Juniper fun. A little bit of Juniper fun. How did I end up at the MikroTik website? Not MikroTik website, MikroTik YouTube page. So I've been busy building this topology in Containerlab, and I've just been adding some nodes. The core network is Juniper, and then the customer edge stuff, like the remote ends there, is all just MikroTik. So it is fun. It's a bit of a mix and match, but I'll definitely also still do some microtech labs as well. I definitely want to see some of the new features that they added, like the hardware offload for VRF traffic as well. That Nicholas, one of the other viewers, brought up a bit earlier. Let me try something insane. Deactivate routing, activate protocol, BGP. Let's quit. Gotta go for the night. Bye. Good night, mate. Thank you for joining the stream. It's always been a pleasure having you around here. I'm actually also going to head out any minute, to be quite honest, because it has been like 2.5 hours of streaming already, which is impressive. And I've had a ton of fun. There we go. I don't know why my BGP session felt like it was wanting to be silly, but it was being silly. So if I go onto my route reflector, I'm typing in the wrong passwords now. Go BGP sum. Yay! We've got BGP summaries to all of our PEs. But there is definitely still missing config on the route reflector and on the provider edges, because I do still need to add some routing policies and do stuff like next hop self. But I feel like that is something I'll do in another stream. I'm probably going to duplicate this lab again and make it a stream lab while I tinker around the real lab separately. Oh, thanks OPS as well. Thanks for joining. It was also so nice having you here. I'm up with some suggestions to video topics. I appreciate it. You can make suggestions. I'm open to suggestions all the time. I do keep track of them. I write them down. And hopefully I can cover something that you also want to see covered. Alright, I'm actually also going to head off now, guys. So, thank you for joining the stream, everybody. It was really, really nice being here. And I'll definitely catch you guys in the next stream next week, Thursday. Otherwise, look out if I do potentially make some videos. I'm thinking if I do start releasing some more videos again on a regular basis, I'll probably continue just making the, you know, tutorial-like videos, like my MTC and A stuff, and just build off of that playlist. But yeah, that's about it. Anyways, thank you guys. Have a good evening, or morning, or day, and catch you again soon. See ya.